Views and opinions expressed in this production are those of the individual and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Shooters Nation or our sponsors. Information provided on this show is not a replacement for legal counsel or professional training. Listener and viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows.
Welcome to the Shooters Nation podcast, the show created for you, the armed citizen. Join our hosts and subject matter experts as we talk about guns and gear, practical training and knowledge, Second Amendment issues, and the firearms culture. Be sure to join us after the show at shootersnation.com and become part of the Shooters Nation.
Welcome to the Shooters Nation podcast. I'm your host, David Yancey, coming to you from our studio just outside of Nashville, Tennessee. And back in the saddle with us again is our co-host, Mark Lancaster of Squared Away Customs in New Hampshire. Mark, you sound remarkably well and healed up, man. So welcome back.
I feel much better. Thanks, David.
Yeah.
It's good to be back. Yeah, it was, as I said before, it was a nasty couple of weeks, but I haven't had my butt kicked like that by an illness ever, I don't think. And I don't know if it's just a bad illness or I'm just getting old, but it did not do well by me. But I'm finally on the mend and feeling much better now.
Yeah, I heard the other day one of the clinicians at our company was talking about the fact that this is looking like it's going to be a really rough cold and flu season. So public service announcement for our listeners: if you've not had your flu shot yet, you probably ought to. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, your symptoms, you weren't necessarily flu. You just, it's like you got.
Well, it started as a flu, yeah.
Yeah.
And rather than go and get myself checked out, I was just being a stubborn, dummy, and chose not to go to the doctors because that's what I always do. Until it got to the point that the sinus infection had gotten violent enough that the pain was radiating down to my teeth, and I was actually having like massive toothaches on both my upper and
from
lower
sinus
jaw
infection.
on my left side. And then my eye was closed shut.
Oh my God.
Like the whole side of my face looked droopy.
Right.
Because it was all like puffy and swollen and weird just on one side.
Yeah.
And it ended up just being a nasty sinus infection.
Oh, that sucks. That sounds, you know, the meme that I'm thinking about right now, the billboard on the side of the road that's like, thousands of men will die from heart disease this year. And yeah, dude had crawled up on the billboard with spray paint and wrote, "No, we won't," or something like that, like from stubbornness. They'll die because of stubbornness this year. And it's like, "No, we won't." So yeah, I'm with you, man. You just about got to drag me into the hospital or the doctor's office whenever I'm feeling bad. So, well, glad you're back. Glad you're feeling better. Golly, man, the new format kind of screws with me, but I guess we'll do the tail end of the show first, which is kind of weird. Still having a hard time getting used to this, but want to remind everybody that's listening that you can connect with us after the show at shootersnation.com, where you can contact us, send us feedback, sign up for the Shooters Nation mail blast, mailing list, all that kind of fun stuff. You can also follow us on Instagram as @Shooters Nation Radio and on Facebook.com/Shooters Nation. While you're over at Facebook, be sure to sign up for the Shooters Nation community. And that's where you can interact with us and some of our guest SMEs, stuff like that. Finally, if you like what you're hearing, you can help support the show and make future episodes possible by becoming a Patreon patron at patreon.com/Shooters Nation. And if you want to support the show for free, and why wouldn't you want to do that? You can leave us a positive review on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube, etc. Those positive reviews help us rise to the top when people search for firearms-related content. So if you like the show, share us with your friends and family, but definitely give us a positive plug on those formats. The patron thing on Patreon, that's actually going to be pretty important because coming up here in the next few weeks, we're going to be sending out an email. Probably, I'm going to try to get that email out this week or next. Those of you that are Patreon supporters, we want to invite you to come to a live taping, if you will, and we'll try to put some of you guys on the podcast with us, and we'll do kind of a like a listener Christmas party kind of episode. We'll talk about some of the the year in review and some of the stuff that we're hoping that we can get accomplished in 2018. And I think it'll just be fun. So that'll be specific to our patrons on Patreon only. And everybody else can just watch and enjoy. But for those of you that are supporting the show directly, we wanted to thank you and offer some little, token of our appreciation. And I think maybe getting you on the show and interacting with us, that'd be kind of fun. So anyway,
Absolutely.
Like an ugly Christmas sweater concept. I don't know. We'll see. We'll do something. Yeah. So this episode is the one that I think I've been looking forward to this one, man. This is kind of the holiday gift guide for 2018, heading into the Christmas and Hanukkah holidays and all that stuff. So it'll be fun.
I had, a couple ideas about it, like one, you could be like, send it to your spouse, your significant other, your brother, your sister, mother, father, whoever, and just be like, listen to this. I want everything on here.
Right. Yeah.
Or you could just like plant seeds and add it, to your wish list to send out to family and friends type of thing. But either way, the idea is just to get the content to you. So maybe know what we've tried, tested, used, and have experience with that may be, a good fit for you.
Absolutely. This will be a good episode to play in the car while you're riding along to, the family Thanksgiving or whatever. Just kind of surreptitiously play it like, oh, what, this? The gift guide? No, I wasn't really paying attention. I don't know. I mean, some of what they're talking about sounds cool. So maybe we should have put the word out and had you guys give us some feedback ahead of time. What gifts would you like? And then we'll plug it on the episode tonight. But sorry, we'll plan ahead better next time. I still think there's going to be some cool stuff on here. I've looked through the list of things that Mark and I've been putting together over the past few hours, and this is all going to be really fun stuff. And it runs a different, like the whole spectrum of pricing, right? So there's low, no cost, and then the sky's the limit kind of stuff. So it'll be fun. Give you some ideas, and if one of your friends or family members have sent you a link to this episode and you're listening to it, take heed. There's some stuff in here that any good, solid gun person would enjoy having. So it's going to be good ideas. Good ideas. Well, Mark, so what I'm thinking is, first of all, I suspect this is going to be a fairly lengthy episode, and I offer no apologies for that. Got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. A lot of cool stuff. What do you think, man? We'll just kind of go back and forth on the list and just trade off. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you want to kick it off, or you want me to?
I'm sure I'll kick it off. Okay. And one of the things that I think is a really great product that's been out for a little while now, and it's starting to become a little bit more available, is the SBA3 brace from SB Tactical.
Yes, indeed.
So this is a multi-position adjustable arm brace that actually then qualifies your short barrel to be a pistol on your AR or your AK or whatever it may be. But the stinking thing functions just like a stock. It's adjustable like a stock. It's comfortable like a stock. It's fantastic. Retailing this guy is like $129. It comes with the buffer tube that you need, which is it's just a great deal. Yeah. And paying for that tax stamp just doesn't even make sense anymore these days.
That thing's nicer than the stock that I've actually got on a NFA short barrel rifle, right? So my little $20 Magpul CTR stock that I've got on my short barrel that I had to pay a hefty tax stamp for and do all the weight and all that crap. This is nicer than what I'm using on it. So
yep, it's fantastic.
Why would you buy a stock when you can buy this thing? So
honestly, there's so many more less restrictions. It's less of the idea of having to wait 9 months for Mr. ATF to approve your tax stamp and to cash your $200 check. One-time fee, $129, and you slap it on your gun and you're good to go. And you don't have an SBR, you have a pistol, so you can keep it loaded in your vehicle. Depending on your state, like here in New Hampshire, you can have a loaded pistol in your vehicle, but you can't have a loaded rifle.
Yeah.
And it makes it smaller, and smaller is great because it conceals, like I have one on my Angstead Arms, pistol caliber carbine. It's a 9mm 6-inch with a law folder in the SBA3. Mm-hmm. So when this thing's folded in half, the thing's about 11 inches long, fits in the center console of my truck.
Right.
it's perfect. But the SBA3 is a really great product. Can't say enough about it, and it just functions perfectly.
Yeah, for that price point, even if you are going to do a tax stamp on your short barrel, until you get that tax stamp back, you could throw this on there. I'm seeing dudes do that exact same thing. And, some of them say, well, I'm going to sell it after I get my tax stamp and blah, blah. Then they change their mind. They keep it, or they move it over to another gun and they build a pistol, to accompany their short barrel. Man, for years, it seemed like having a short barrel rifle was kind of the cool kid thing to do. It took being a gun owner to another level. You get to bragging rights or whatever. But man, this is perfect. And the concealability is definitely something you can't shrug off, because not that you're up to no good concealing a rifle in your car, but let's be honest, you kind of want to keep it out of the eyes of people who might be up to no good. And so you can, you can collapse this thing down, shove it into your seat, shove it in the trunk, shove it in a duffel bag, whatever. And it's less of an inviting item to have laying in clear view where somebody can break in, try to steal it. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great place to start right there. That's a cheap product too. So there you go. If you've got somebody in your life that's trying to build a short barrel rifle, maybe talk to them about the idea of a pistol, or just go on our word, and they're probably going to like this. It might save them the tax stamp and the weight and the frustration. And like I said, it's nicer than when I'm running on one of my short barrels. So, definitely. Cool. That's a great place to start. All right. So I was thinking about, different price ranges and things like that. This one's going to come in probably around the $110 mark on Amazon. And I'll mention right now, if we can link you to a product, I'm going to be very diligent about putting this in our show notes, and there'll be links in there for you to find this stuff. So, and you'll find the show notes, in iTunes or in your podcast player. You'll also find them on our website. So, something to keep in mind there. If you hear a product mentioned and you're not quite sure what we said or where we said you could find it, go look at the show notes and we'll link you. But back to the point, around $110 on Amazon is where I personally bought these for myself. Peltor's Sport Tactical 500 Bluetooth earmuffs. And if you're feeling really generous and you want to splurge either for somebody else or for yourself, go ahead and pick up the 3M Peltor Camelback Gel Sealing Rings. And those are the little pads that go on the side. It completely changes the comfort of it. Keeps it from being, especially if you wear, eyeglasses or sunglasses, which, eye protection while you're shooting, which you should be. These gel sealing rings really mold around that and make them a lot more comfortable. But the thing I liked about them, they're lightweight. They're not super expensive. They're not advertised as being waterproof. I think they're like water resistant. So if you're out in the rain or, just extremely humid areas, it's not going to crap out on you. The noise dampening on these is substantial. And the fact that it's Bluetooth, for me, what that allows is if I'm at the range and my wife calls or work calls or something like that, I get the little, the ringer in my earpiece or in the earphones, and I'm not completely, oblivious to what's going on. And that's kind of nice. You can also play music to them and stuff, but.
Another big benefit to the gel cups that I notice is that it wraps tightly around the ear pro better. So you have less gap.
That's a good point. Yeah. That's a very good point, especially if you're going to double up with, like the foamies that have a lanyard on them or, something like that. And they do. They really mold to your jawline, to the side of your head. And I like them. I recommend them to a few friends, and they've picked them up, and I've not heard anybody say that they regretted that purchase. So I think, we've talked about this before on the show, right? Your hearing is one of those things that once it's gone, it's gone. So it's a good way to get some pretty decent hearing protection, for under $200. Man, I'll put these up against my $300 $300 Pro Ears earmuffs any day of the week. I like these better. So, yep.
I have some like military issue Peltor Comtac 3s.
Oh yeah,
the kind with the actual boom mic,
right?
You know what I mean? But I detach the boom mic and I have the cord wrapped up because they don't need to connect. But they have the gel cups, and those things are stinking awesome, man. Downfall is the summer.
Oh,
it's hot as heck.
Yeah, it's like a sweat factory inside there. Yeah, I mean, there's just no way around that, I don't think.
Yeah. I have the inner ear custom formed to my ear. I had them made last year.
Yep.
Great for the summer, but this time of year when it's cold, I'm stopping by the range. It's like, man, I love having my Peltors.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep my ears warm too.
Yeah, I think I would love to pick up some of the molded, custom molded Ear Pro, but if I'm indoor at an indoor shooting range, I'm going to double up. I'm going to use in the ear and earmuffs just to really kind of mitigate that blast and the percussive force from everybody shooting around you. And they do good. Yeah, you're right. I mean, during the summer, you can almost take them off and dump the sweat out of them. But I kind of look at it kind of the same way. Yeah, small price to pay, right? I mean, it should be comforting, not comfortable, perhaps. And it's comforting for me to know that my hearing's not going to get worse than it is already.
Yep.
All right, so that again probably total around $150 if you buy them on Amazon. What do you got next?
My beautiful wife got me these for my birthday, and they are rocks glasses or bourbon glasses rather, with 308 caliber bullets pushed into the glass and glued in place.
Great. They are
and great. It's just a simple little gift, you know what I mean? But cool. You can get them in a shot glass with like a 9mm. Yep. You can get like big ones with like a 308 billet. You know what I mean? I think they even have some 50 cal stuff that they do.
Yes, they do.
But just kind of fun conversation, cool things to have. Cheap little gift for the gun enthusiast in your life would absolutely get a kick out of them.
Yeah,
they're pretty cool.
I'm trying to think the product name, the brand name that I'm more familiar with on those is Ben Shot, Ben Shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Ben Shot.
And I think if I'm not mistaken, it's a father-son team that own the company and make these things. They're made here in the United States. And, it's an inert projectile. It's not like it's got, it's just the projectile, first of all. It doesn't have powder and a shell and all that stuff on it. But, those things are really cool. I gave one of those to my boss for Christmas last year with a bottle of bourbon and the ice cube molds. I think the ones that are spherical. And it was a hit. It was an absolute hit. I love those things too. I've got one. I think mine's a 308, and I think it's like a rocks glass, like you were saying. Yep. Yeah, those are very cool. Another interesting bit about those, I believe that if you get to them in time before the holiday rush, they are doing some laser engraving, or they can do that for you. So if you've got, you want to have a monogram put on there or somebody's name or, like a company logo and things like that. It's a really cool way to do something personable and personalized that, like you said, Mark, gun enthusiasts would really dig those. So, yeah, maybe we should have added some bourbon to this list. Did you sneak any of that in there? I didn't even think about doing that. No. I bet we could still do that off the cuff. But if I'm not mistaken, the Ben Shot stuff, let me hit the interwebs real quick. And I can tell you, you can find those things on Amazon too, but a shot glass, looks like those start at about $15, and a rocks glass is about $25, and they've got pint glasses now, which is pretty interesting. About $25, and that goes from there. Oh, hey, they've even got
pint glass is the one that had the 50 cal round in it, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. I'm looking, and they've got a mug now, which look at that. They call it the mug shot. That was just begging to happen. That one, $35, so it's like a beer stein, so pretty cool. Oh man, they've got a bulletproof decanter now. It's like you pour your whiskey in that bottle. It's like $50, $40. So anyway, Ben Shot. Those things are really slick. I'm glad you added that because I completely forgot about those, and those are absolutely a really neat gift to give or receive. So well played. I like that one. All right. Let's see here. Going down through the list of stuff I'm trying to think of. So stocking stuffers. I was looking at some stocking stuffer ideas for my family, and most of I've got two kids that are older, college age or out of college, and family members that are not necessarily gun people, but they appreciate useful, handy things that you can just carry around with you and make your life easier, make yourself a little bit safer. I found on Amazon It's a product called TruNite, TruNite, TI3 mini flashlight. And it uses a AAA battery, and the flashlight's not much bigger than that. It's 120 lumens, which isn't like super bright, but it's a keychain. So those things are about $14 a pop. And, $14, I can afford to buy a couple of those and just, trinket kind of stocking stuffer things,
Yeah.
So pretty neat, a little bit of white light at the end of your keychain. Use it for, rooting around in your car, or, finding the right key to get into the house, or, as we were talking to Randy Harris, a couple episodes back about white light and stuff. It's also nice to have a source of white light when you're walking out to your car at night, shine that quickly in your back seat, make sure nobody's in the car or hiding underneath it or something like that. So, pretty slick way to do that for less than $20. I didn't think to go with any other lights on the list brighter than that, but maybe I'll do some searching between now and when we conclude the episode, for somebody that's got a desire to have a little bit better, brighter white light. We got some options. As a matter of fact, you shared one the other day in our little private group that might be worth mentioning. So we'll get around to that here in a few.
So another one that makes another product out there, and this is more of a brand because their brand really encompasses a bunch of really great products. Mm-hmm. It's a company called Real Avid, REALAVID.
Oh yeah. And
they make like gunsmithing tools for the DIY guy. They make cleaning tools, little accessory tools, just little handy like range bag products.
Yeah.
Average price of their stuff is probably between $15 and $20. Some of it's like $5, some of it's like $30. You know what I mean? But it's really good, handy little products. And you go to their website, it's all available there. Really neat company, really great ideas that somebody actually put to play. You touch them, you're like, I really wish I had something like this, and these guys have made it. You know what I mean? It's great stuff.
No, you're exactly right. I've got the what's it called? The Carbon Boss, I think is right. Yeah, I've got that for the AR platform, and then I just recently picked up the kit that they make for 30 cal, including AKs, and it's all very rugged. It's made of really durable, thick plastic, and nice steel and stuff like that. And when I say plastic, I'm not talking about feels like a Happy Meal toy or something like that. I mean, this stuff feels rugged. It's good, strong polymer. But everything they make, it's like, wow, this stuff, form and function. It fits your hand. It fits the purpose. It's durable. And you kind of smack yourself in the forehead. It's like, man, why didn't I think of this? But I'm glad somebody did. It's very cool. They've got an armorer's block that's pretty sweet too, for knocking pins out of your pistol and, things like that. So,
they make that rod that goes into your receiver extension that goes into the lug of your AR barrel.
Oh yeah.
So you can put a device.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
And that system from them, I think is $69. The Geisley equivalent is like $300.
Everything these folks make is just phenomenal. They've got an armorer's wrench that I don't own the armorer's wrench, but I've seen one that a friend of mine has, and I try to steal it from him every time he's not looking. It's kind of like, I don't know. I'm gonna Google real quick. I think there it is. So it's like $60, right? Retail price, and it's got a really good thick handle. It's ergonomic. It's made to, do the work for you, so you're not having to fight it. And oh man, they're out of stock on their website, but maybe all the different resellers, have got these things in, but pretty trick. I'm looking right now at their website. They've got a smart wrench for the 1911. And what's cool about that is, so it's got the bushing wrench on the front, for removing the bushing from the barrel. People have been making those things out of plastic forever and ever and ever, but it always looks like a cheap bottle opener. If you've seen one, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This thing, it's almost the size of, I don't know, like the twist off lid of a mason jar. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but if you go look at Real Avid's website, you'll kind of see what I'm saying. I mean, it fills the palm of your hand. And so, man, I'm like in my late 40s, but I feel like I'm too young just to have arthritis creeping in, but let's be honest. I'm not getting any younger. And I was working on something the other day, and the more I worked on it, my hands started getting numb, and I was like, what is wrong with me? And my wife was kind enough to point out, she's like, well, you probably got a little bit of arthritis in your hands. I'm like, no, hold on. That's crazy talk, right? I mean, I'm not even 50 yet. There's no way I've got arthritis. She's probably right. And so something like this makes that a lot easier when you're trying to twist that barrel lug or the locking lug off of the end of a 1911. So, of course, if you got a Glock, you don't have to deal with this kind of nonsense. They just come apart a lot easier. But anyway, so there you go. It's pretty slick. I'd head over to their website. They've got a bunch of stuff that I'd like to have.
It's all great stuff. Yeah.
You see this Black Magic? They've got the AR-15 pivot pin tool.
Yep.
$9 or probably $10, right? But it's if you've ever tried to install the pivot pin on an AR, you understand how much fun that is. You've probably launched one of the detents into the stratosphere. So they've got a tool for $10 that looks like it's going to make that a heck of a lot easier. Yeah. I may be Christmas shopping for myself over on their website. All right. Yeah, absolutely. Cool plug. I like it. So Real Avid, look for their stuff. You can find that on Google, Brownells, Midway, Optics Planet. And of course, their own website. Just Google them. They're out there. It's everywhere. Golly, let me think. What else here? So thinking about stuff for other members of the family, I was trying to think about kids, right? And so, when is it too early ever to really start your children on the road to proper firearm safety and knowing how to respect guns and knowing what the rules of gun safety are and things like that? They're sure as heck not teaching about this stuff in schools anymore. It seems like Julie Golub, used to be Julie Goloski, competitive shooter. She hasn't been Julie Goloski forever, so I think a lot of the older folks probably remember that name. But Julie Golub, team shooter for Smith & Wesson, very well renowned, very well respected member of the shooting community. I think she's on the NRA board now, if I'm not mistaken. She wrote a book not too long ago called Toys, Tools, Guns, and Rules, a children's book about gun safety. And when it first came out, she mentioned on social media, I picked up a copy of it, and we've read that to my daughter. And she was 4 when we started reading it to her. She's almost 5 now. She still picks this book up on her own and flips through it. She likes the pictures. She kind of almost has remembered the story. She can't read it yet, but she's almost remembered the story as we've told it to her. So she kind of narrates it herself now. And the really cool thing about that is it's stuck in her head. She's learned gun safety at 4 going on 5 years of age. And so it's pretty cool. $10 on Amazon. I think Julie might even have copies of it on her website. But yeah, I mean, that's a cheap gift for people that have kids, or if you've got kids, you want to introduce it, like I said, gun safety to them. $10, money well spent to teach kids about gun safety.
Yeah.
I got another thing for kids in here a little bit later in the list, but, that was kind of my first thought about that. What do you got next?
How about a book?
Yeah,
it's a favorite. I try and do it once a year or so. Some good life lessons, an all around amazing story about an American hero. And just really one of my all time favorites. And that's, a book by a guy named Eric Blem. And the name of the title of the book is Fearless.
Okay.
It's a story about a man named Adam Brown and some of the troubles that he had in his life, and about his time spent in the military, and man, it's just it's one of the best, and just a great book.
Was he a Navy SEAL? Am I missing? He was. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that is that's still my shopping list. Why have I not read that yet? I mean, we've talked about this several times. Rich was mentioning.
Our guest actually did sniper school with Adam.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, I need to add that to my shopping list. I'll just go ahead and do it right now because I'm sitting here on Amazon, and why the heck wouldn't I? So very cool. Now, I think those kind of stories are just compelling. If nothing else, just as a good gut check that, hey, this is what the human spirit is capable of if you're determined enough. And, we've talked about this enough with some of our guests that a lot of times mindset is the difference between, you going home at the end of the day and not. So,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that a book can implant that or imbue you with that mindset and that will, but sometimes it strikes that fire and it resonates with you and it's something you can carry with you. So
it's also, it kind of points out, kind of is like a highlighter on some perspective,
absolutely.
about what other people are going through versus what you're going through and how they're able to, if they are, you're most likely are able to take care of your challenges too and how they go about it and so on and so forth. But it's a great one.
Yeah. Very cool. So, keeping in the book vein of thinking here, I've mentioned this before, and I'm going to go ahead and plug it again. Excellent book out there called Left of Bang, subtitled "How the Marine Corps' Combat Hunter Program Can Save Your Life," written by a guy by the name of Patrick Van Horn and co-authored by Jason Riley. About $16 on Amazon. I'm mentioning Amazon a lot tonight, but I think everybody's just familiar and you can always start there, search around, right? You may find this stuff cheaper other places, but is there any place else to buy books these days? The neat thing about this book's not super thick. It reads pretty quick, but it's a neat way to maybe have an aha moment as you read through it and you realize that some of the things that you've already been doing play into how elite forces of our military pick up on verbal, nonverbal, just environmental cues that something bad is about to happen. And it's kind of like your spidey sense. You're created with that for a reason. That's human nature. It's a survival mechanism that we've used for centuries, and it's just picking up on what's different and what's out of the ordinary and what doesn't seem to match the baseline of the environment and paying attention to that, and it can save your life. It's a good read, and it might be the kind of book that you want to hand off to. For me, I'm thinking, give this to a college kid or a son or a daughter that's about to go to college and about to be out on their own. Mom and dad aren't going to be able to watch over their shoulder all the time and point out, hey, that guy, maybe he's up to no good, or that woman's up to no good. This kind of stuff can really help cultivate with them the mindset of looking for outliers that might indicate danger. So Left of Bang, it's a good book, quick read, $16-17, somewhere around there. Cool. Well, what do you got next?
How about, this is one, and I've been teetering on doing this, and I'm probably going to pop on it just because it makes so much sense right now. A lifetime hunting license for my son.
Wow.
So
yeah,
the family's we've always been hunters and so on and so forth. And, here I am spending at the age of, almost 40 now, I'm spending, $50-$60 a year on a hunting license. But if you do it when they're young, if you've got kids or, somebody that may be of interest to them when they get older based on family values and what the family's like,
sure.
I'm able to get my son a lifetime license for a little over $300 right now.
Wow, that's a bargain when you start to think about the annual fee for,
But you got to do it before they're one, and then after that, the rate goes up.
Yeah.
But it was just turned on to this the other day by my dad, actually. He showed it to me, and I was just like, man, that's awesome. But I was thinking that, that's a, not only a hunting license, but maybe like a range.
Yeah.
Dues or something like that, like annual range dues, something like that. It would be a nice helpful gift. They're probably not that expensive, but something that a shooter would appreciate. And
yeah. I mean, along those lines, I'll kind of piggyback off of that. Another thought would be, think about a lifetime membership for the National Rifle Association. The NRA, for its good and bad points, is still the 800-pound gorilla in the room as far as, lobbying and trying to do more for hunter education and hunter safety education, especially in the Eddie Eagle program, that they try to get out there in schools and youth groups and, organizations and stuff like that. Why not? I've thought about buying that, even in years past for my kids when the NRA runs sales, especially this time of year. It seems like they're doing a sale, like a lifetime membership with the NRA. If you just walk in off the street, go to their website, whatever, it's like $1,000, right? But Certain times of the year, they offer discount promos and it's $300, or they do it on a, reduced, maybe $500 in an easy pay program where you do it for a couple of years. It can be pricey, but again, I've got a lot of issues with some of the things that the NRA doesn't do necessarily to suit me, but they're still the best thing going. And, and if you can't, if that doesn't resonate with you, find a pro Second Amendment organization that does, and consider, giving somebody, gifting them a lifetime membership or even an annual membership. So yeah, I mean, it's an investment in the future, really. It's, kind of preserving our legacy. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, let's see. So I kind of just threw that one in there for free. Man, thinking about stocking stuffers. So we've not really gotten into this subject deeply as of late. I think we might be doing a recording soon with our friend Jason Demo, and this will probably come up again, but just go ahead and throw it out there. Stocking stuffer, $30 range. You can find these things on Amazon. You can find them on Odin Medical. You can find them on, Dark Angel Medical, tons of different, websites out there. But I'm thinking about the Combat Application Tourniquet, the CAT tourniquet, like the Gen 7. So again, $30. It's these things come, if it's a genuine CAT tourniquet, especially, and that's what you want, in my opinion. Please don't get the airsoft garbage. Make sure it's a genuine CAT tourniquet. Get it from a reputable seller. But it's going to come in a shrink wrap plastic package that's, it's the size of the tourniquet. Throw it down in a stocking for somebody. Throw it in a white elephant gift, exchange or something, and or throw a couple of them in there. You're basically giving somebody a very useful gift that could save a life, theirs or someone else's. So I've bought enough of these things now that I'm sticking them down in the door pockets in the cars. I've got one or two of them in my briefcase I carry with me to work. They're everywhere now, and it's just. If I've got something else I'm going to buy, Amazon, if I'm going to buy something on Amazon, and I'm trying to get that prime same day shipping, for anything over $35, I'll throw one of these suckers in the cart and bam, I'm over $30. I got another tourniquet, and I throw it in a desk drawer, or, like I said, they're everywhere, glove boxes, you name it. So it's, in my opinion, you're giving somebody an item that could be a game changer in a very bad moment. So there you
go. Vertex products. We've talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
The backpacks, the shirts, the pants. I'm a fan. The bags are really fantastic, and that's what originally turned me onto the products. And then I tried the pants, and I love them. I wear them probably 3 to 5 days a week. I wear Vertex pants. They're stretchy, they're comfortable, they're light, they're thick. Some, it depends on which ones you get. Really great products. I'm super happy with all of it. I have had yet to have any of it fail me, and I am hard on everything that I own. And the button-up shirts are great for concealment because they have like snap opening versus they look like buttons, but they actually snap.
Right.
And then they have like an inner shirt that's only the bottom half of the shirt that it tucks in so your gun isn't against your skin.
Oh, wow.
So you don't have to wear like a t-shirt underneath.
Yeah.
Because if it gets hot, you don't want to have an extra layer just to keep the gun off your skin.
That's very smart.
But, like my slide serrations are aggressive. My stippling is aggressive, and rubbing on my skin all day long is annoying. So I always wear a t-shirt tucked.
Yeah, same here.
But with these, you don't need to, and it keeps the top half of your body nice and cool.
That's pretty cool.
So I really like that about the shirts. And then, the bags are great because they are very functioning for the type of things that we do, but they don't scream tactical in any way.
I had no clue that they had the built-in undershirt or half undershirt thing that you can tuck in. That's brilliant.
Yeah, they're button-ups. I forget the actual name of the button-up.
Yeah.
Checking now. Yeah, they're pretty great, and they're thin and they're comfortable and they don't get wrinkly easy. I'm a super big fan of these button-ups. The only downfall so far that I know, they're called the long sleeve Guardian shirt.
Okay.
And they have it in short sleeve too. The only downfall is they only have 4 patterns. So, yeah. I mean, for me, I would probably have like 8 of these things if they had 8 different patterns.
Yeah.
but only 4. I mean, only 4.
Well,
Yeah, so-
I mean, most men can get away with wearing the same pair of jeans every day for 2 weeks straight. Nobody'd ever notice it. Probably the same thing for
Yeah.
shirts, right? So, yeah, no, that's neat. Man, that is just freaking innovative to do that. Like you said, you don't have to wear an undershirt, beneath it, but it keeps it from rubbing a hole in your side. So that's perfect.
It's also got like a little hidden handcuff key pocket in the shirt.
Oh, no kidding.
Which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
They
little Jason Bourne activity there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just great products. Super happy with them. And the other good thing about them is, I'm friends with people there, and I am able to offer all Squared Away Customs customers a coupon code. So if you use Squared Away, SQUAREDAWAY, you can save 25% at any time on any product at vertex.com.
No kidding. That's pretty slick.
So it's a pretty big discount.
So I know that in the past when we've been recording an episode, you looked over my shoulder and you saw one of my numerous Vertex bags laying in the floor next to me, right? So I've got the EDC Gamut backpack, and I think it's like a, man, I don't know my colors. I think it's called Loden or something like that. It's kind of a brown with brown leather trim. It fits in well in an office environment. I've got a black EDC Courier bag, like a shoulder bag. Fits in even better in an office environment, especially if you feel like I can't carry a backpack to work because nobody will take me seriously. You could probably carry a shoulder bag like a Courier bag, and that's perfectly acceptable. Those things they're awesome, rugged, durable. I've traveled with them. I've kicked them underneath the seat of the airplane in front of me. I've thrown them in the overhead bins. They've dragged them around conferences and conference centers and you name it. And they don't look like they don't look any worse for the wear than when I started. So which bag is your favorite for carrying stuff?
I like the Gamut, the EDC Gamut.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Gamut Plus is just too big. That thing's a monster. You can fit a body in that thing. The big backpack.
Yeah.
I've done. So I have a couple of the sling bags too.
Okay.
But when I use my bags mostly is when I'm like at trade shows or something like that.
Yeah.
And if you're walking a trade show all day and you've got a heavy backpack and you're not having the ability to switch shoulders is frustrating for me. So I prefer having a double strap backpack, and that's I just always keep coming back to the Gamut.
Yep. Like I said, they've got them now. I'm looking on their website. They've got one that is in kind of like a blue color. It's called Midnight Blue /Stone, and it looks like any other backpack under the sun. I mean, you could Yellow Bean or Jansport or something. Yeah. I mean, you could throw give Peace a chance, patch on the outside of this and nobody would bat an eye. It looks like, if you walked into Starbucks and dropped this on the floor, people would have no clue that, there's a compartment in there for an EDC pistol, or, I've even seen folks fold their AR, pistols or like the SIG and PXs and put them in there and stuff if they're traveling, like police officers, law enforcement, stuff like that. I mean, it's very discreet. So, plus these things, like I said, they're just built for war. I mean, they're so rugged and durable, and I've not treated mine kindly, and it looks great in an office environment. Just with laptop crap in there, no guns, no anything else. Tourniquets down in the pockets, a blowout kit in the front of it. It doesn't scream tactical. So very discreet. Mine. What is mine called? It's called Bracken. I called it Loden, and I think I've looked at too many Yellow Bean catalogs, I guess. It's Bracken. Yeah, I don't know. What is Bracken? Oh well, it's kind of like a brown color. I'm sure that word means something. It means something to somebody somewhere else. What is Bracken? If I look at it, Bracken is a tall fern with coarse lobed fronds that occur worldwide and can cover large areas. I feel stupid for having even looked that up. I don't even know how that doesn't. And every picture I see of Bracken is green. I don't know. It's not green. It's brown. Crazy. I shouldn't have looked it up. I've ruined my world. All right. Excellent. Nah, I'm with you. The Vertex bags are absolutely the cat's pajamas. So hit up vertex.com, use code Squared Away, and save yourself some money on that. So thinking about other useful things for the ladies. I've mentioned this before. I think my wife mentioned it on the episode that she she and your wife, Kristen, did with Tiffany Johnson. She is a fan of this concealment holster for women made by a company called CanCan Concealment. CanCan, like the dance. And I only know that because I had to Google it too. But CanCan Concealment hip hugger holster. And this thing looks like, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's almost like a corset, I guess, but it's only as tall as your hip line or something. I mean, for women, they got that issue of, generally having, hips, like, men don't. I mean, women have hips and that's a good thing. I'm a fan of that. But that makes it kind of hard for them to carry inside the waistband, because of belts and, just body shape and all that stuff. The way this sucker works is it's, like I said, it's kind of like made like a corset. Women can strap that thing on under their shirt, under, their pants, and it's got different holster positions all the way around it. They're just kind of sewn into it. And, she can carry a full size Glock, full size, I say Glock 19, or, she carries her M&amp M2.0 compact in that thing. And man, I mean, she can wear, jeans without a belt like women like to do. She can wear a loose shirt over it. She can wear a t-shirt. She could wear, yoga pants or leggings or whatever they call those awesome things that I'm also a fan of. And so, she really digs it. I've seen these things plugged by CanCan Concealment as being an option for men too. And, especially if you're, if you jog or you hit the gym and you're wearing gym pants, or if you're in the medical field and you have to wear scrubs and stuff like that, it is the support system for the weapon. You don't have to wear a belt. And if you've got clothes that can't support that kind of weight, like a gun or something, it's a great option. These things start at about $79. So again, I'll put the link to that in the show notes. But for the women in your life, or the men in your life that have to dress, like I said, with clothing that doesn't use a belt or something like that, this is maybe a good option. For the women, they've got cool colors. They get the pink, the blue, all that kind of stuff. The trim and the lacy frilly stuff. For the men, they come in solid black, and it's a little bit more tactical, a little bit more manly. We're not going to judge you if you wear a hip hugger holster, dudes.
What color do you have?
I don't. I got the opposite problem of having hips. I got a spare tire. So, I mean, it's not gonna work for me, but, if I had to do it, I'd probably go for the Tiffany blue. I think, it'd probably go the Tiffany blue, maybe get a Seracoted Tiffany blue.
Match your M&amp.
Yeah. M&amp. Yeah. It'd be great. So be wonderful. I wonder what Jordan has. I wonder if he's got one that's like plaid. He totally has a Tiffany blue one. Yeah, he probably does have a Tiffany blue plaid. Is that a thing? I bet it is a thing. I bet he kind of makes it a thing.
It's gonna be.
Yeah. Speaking of Jordan, I know, we found the bane of your existence. We found plaid Kydex. So, brace yourself, right? So, Shout out to Jordan. What's up? All right. What's next on the list? I feel like we're at this weird part of the show where we're going to start throwing barbs at friends that aren't even on the show. That's what we do.
Sorry, fellas. Sorry, not sorry. How about, here's one that I had to use recently that was super handy and totally made it worth its weight for just the one use. And that is the Leatherman Mut.
Tell me about that one.
So the Leatherman Mut is a multi-tool made specifically for servicing an AR-15.
No kidding.
Yeah. It's got like a little bronze scrapers on it. It's got push pins. It's got, it does other things like a saw, fabric cutters. It's got a carabiner, a bottle opener, a pin pusher, a knife blade. I mean, screwdriver, Phillips, flathead, star, and Torx. And it's all in one little package.
Holy cow. That thing looks really neat. I know I'm saying that looks really neat. And here we are doing an audio format that people can't see, but,
and then of course pliers.
Yeah. Got the pliers, got the wire cutters in the middle of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just, I had an AR malfunction that needed a tool.
Yeah.
And it comes with a Molly pouch, like a Coyote Brown Molly pouch that goes on your battle belt or whatever, or your backpack, whatever. And I just happened to have it. I'm just like, I've always had this thing, never had to use it, but now it's the time, and I needed it, and it worked perfectly, and it saved the day and saved me from a trip from the range because I had it.
Very cool.
And I'm like, man, that's stinking cool. I'm going to keep it on a battle belt and always have it when I'm running an AR.
Well, that firearms punch, that pin punch that you got on there, that'd be great for ARs, be great for Glocks, M&Ps, you name it, right? I mean, so.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
And then it opens up like that, and then you can unscrew it.
Oh, no
and
kidding.
Then it screws into the side of it, so you can use it as like a T.
A T handle to get a little bit more pressure in behind it to shove things through.
It doesn't fold. You know what I mean? So it's not going to collapse on you.
Yeah, very cool.
But yeah, great tool.
No, that's pretty slick. So that good point too. You mentioned the battle belt and the Molly pouch to attach it. If you've got somebody in your family that's deployed overseas, in the service, or you get somebody that's in the military, or just again shooters. This looks like, that thing's pretty slick. I just found it online and I'm looking now myself. That's like a toolkit in a folding format, perfect for the shooter to take to the range or out in the field if they're hunting or whatever. So
I couldn't imagine being deployed overseas carrying an M4 every day and not having this on my everyday.
Right.
In my kit somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. That, and couple that with some of those real Avid tools, the small compact stuff, shove that in a bag and you've got anything you would need to put your rifle back into service for the most part. So very cool. Yeah. I mean, Leatherman's got all sorts of really neat tools. I just hadn't kept track of them lately. So very, very slick. Yeah. All right. So in the tool category, I found one, and I'll have to put this in the show notes as well. It's an item called a TG Multitool card. And what's kind of slick about this is $10. It's about the size of a credit card. And it's just got, it's got some cutting surfaces on it. It's got some hex wrenches. It's got a screwdriver or two in there. It's got a box opener, a bottle opener. It's got some carbon scrapers. It's got a ruler, cut into it. I mean, the thing, again, it's about the size of a credit card, and it's just got all sorts of really cool, nifty little, gizmos that would be good for somebody that, the MacGyver in your life, I guess. Right. But, again, something you can drop in your range bag or drop in your kit if you're, if you going hunting or going on a hike or a bit of an expedition, or you got somebody that's serving overseas, nifty little tools like that. $10, pretty slick, good stocking stuffer. All right. So trying to think of what else I want to go to next. Well, you're up next. I'm about to cut in line. That's rude. So, you got something else you want to mention?
Yeah. So there's a guy local to me that has a Seracote business. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And he obviously does guns and stuff like that, but he also started doing this pretty cool project, and he has these custom made pens, and they're 2 308 casings that are back to back. So like primer to primer welded together.
Yeah.
And there's a pen in the inside. So you twist them there and the pen comes out the end. But he does all kinds of really neat Seracote work to them, whether it's like Punisher skulls on them or stars and stripes or thin blue line flags or just like Texas flags, like all kinds of really cool Seracote finishes on these pens. And to the layman, you would never look at it and be like, that's a bullet. But to a gun guy, you'd look at it and be like, that's a bullet. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
right. Yeah.
kind of like raising the flag, you know what I mean? And they're pretty awesome. They're a little bit for most people. I mean, if you're a guy that loses a pen every 3 minutes, I probably wouldn't carry one every day, because these range from $28 up to $50, depending on how elaborate the Seracote work that he's done to them is.
Right.
But great gift idea for someone special that, like would appreciate something like this. He's local to me. He's right here in New Hampshire. And the name of the business is Twin State Seracote. And then you just go to his website, click products and pricing, and you'll see all the pens right there.
Yeah.
From.
The stuff I love about that is that, or the thing I love about stuff like that rather, is you carry that to work, or you keep it on your desk at work or whatever. Like you said, the average Joe looks at that and they have no clue what it is. They don't think twice about it. But somebody who is in the know, they're a gun person. It's a conversation starter. I mean, the next thing you know, you've got somebody that's like, hey, is that a 308 bullet or what, whatever. And then, now you're talking about guns, and Yeah, just I don't know. My work day goes better when I'm surrounded by people, and thankfully I am that have similar interests, and they don't look at you weird if they walk by, and you got a gun magazine or something like that, like a paper magazine, like Recoil or something like that, laying on your desk. It's just more fun if you can be yourself and not have to be a different person, at work. And sometimes it's the little conversation starters like that make all the difference. So. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, that's neat, man. So I'm kind of questioning. I was looking for something, when you mentioned Seracote, and I can't tell if this guy has these in stock now or not. But just as kind of a bonus item, have you seen the Orca or Yeti or whatever tumblers that have been Ceracoted to look like smoke grenades? Have you seen those? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the Mark 18 smoke grenades and stuff. So the guy that I was thinking about in particular is a outfit called Scarecrow Seracote. I've done no business with them. I don't know anything about them other than the fact that I want their freaking cup because, it looks like a smoke grenade. And I could put that on my desk at work and probably, inspire some questions too. So, or get escorted out of the building, one of the two. So some days at work, that would be a welcome change. So. Yep. All right. I'm going to mention this kind of in the same vein of tools. As I was preparing for the episode, I actually happened to have been sitting down doing some sharpening of knives. And, I was I've got a couple of knives that are in my daily rotation. And depending on, what pants I'm wearing or, where I'm going to be, I'll choose a knife based off of its size and things like that. But for years now, my old faithful has been a zero tolerance ZT350 ST knife. And the great thing about this is it's a tank. It's a hoss. It's big. It's beefy. It's made of thick metal. It's got a thick blade on it. It's got a really nice liner lock that is very authoritative when you open it up and it clamps shut. I have used this thing mercilessly in the garage. I've cut open boxes with it. I've used it hunting. I've used it working on cars, working on yard projects, cutting open bags of mulch, digging holes in the dirt to plant, flowers. I've cut wood with it, you name it. I mean, the 350 ST is serrated, so I've not been kind to this knife at all, period. $115. It's hard to beat the price point on this thing. It's got a really thick spring steel clip that's not going to break off. I'm going to throw a bit of a rock at like Gerber and, some of those kind of like SOG SOG. I've had some beautiful SOG knives, but hands down, every single time the clip breaks off of them, it seems like the zero tolerance belt clip, it's not going to break. And my brother has one of these, and he works in a kind of like almost in like an industrial setting. He broke the tip of it the other day. He contacted Zero Tolerance and said, "Hey guys, I broke this knife. Right? How can I send it back to you and have the blade either reprofiled or replaced?" And they communicated back quickly. I think it's like $35, and they said, "Send it in. We'll put a new blade on it. We'll make sure it's laser sharp. We're going to go through the knife. We're replacing any screws, bushings, panels, scales, pieces, parts, whatever that need to be replaced. We'll freshen it up and we'll send it back to you." And he said that really, he's like, "Man, I was expecting, more, it to cost more than that." He said, "But for $35, he said, I broke it. They could have told me, hey, you're on your own." But, and their point was, if it had broken and, just in normal use, we'd have covered it. But, since you owned up, I think he was using it to like pry something apart, and like really using that thing as a pry bar. $35 though. He said, "I'm not crying at all, man. I'm getting like a brand new knife back for $35. So, I can't say enough about it. I love it. Mine is, it's got the black blade, but I see these things, the 350, you can get it without the serrations. So it's not an ST model. I think it's just the ZT 350, but they're all around the same price point, around $100 to $125. Amazon, Optics Planet, Blade HQ, you name it, they carry them. And, I love mine. I gave my dad one of these knives years ago, and I have no idea where it is now, but, I just love them. It's a great knife. $115, great gift, great stocking stuffer or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
So your batter up next. What do you got?
Holosun Optics.
Okay. Yeah.
So they are a lower price red dot company that's been around for a little while, but they're really starting to get some good reputation. And I don't know that if the products are gotten better, but what I think it is more or less is that the products have always been good, and now they're starting to get a reputation of something that lasts. But man, their red dots are getting some really great reviews, and people are comparing them to aim points that cost 6 times as much.
Yes, they are.
And they're holding up. The batteries are lasting. They're maintaining zeros. I can't say enough good about them from what I've heard from the buzz. I personally own 2 of them on 2 different ARs. They've been on point. They've been perfect. Yeah, I think it's a really great way to get yourself into an affordable miniature red dot that's going to last without, selling a child.
Yeah, I mean,
an aim point $600.
Right.
It's just bonkers.
Right.
And these, some of these Holosuns you can pick up for 150, 175, 180, which is, cheaper than an EOTech. It's cheaper than most Vortex. It seems to be a great product. I've had mine for well over a year now. And they've been on point, but you hear some big shooters like Rob Pincus is running Holosuns, and Fisher's had some Holosuns. It's like, so you have some big shooters in the industry that shoot literally for a living, and they're using these optics, and that tells me that that's a good thing.
Hey folks, David here. Did you know that there is more to the Shooters Nation than this podcast? Mark and I are working hard to knit together a community of well-informed, responsibly armed citizens who are well prepared to face the worst days of their lives. We would like to invite you to join us and the other listeners on our various social media outlets and become an active part of the Shooters Nation community. You can find us on Instagram as @ShootersNationRadio. And if Facebook is your thing, you can find us there at facebook.com/ShootersNation. While you're there, be sure to click on the link to join our Facebook Shooters Nation community. And as always, you can head over to shootersnation.com for more listener resources.
It's cheaper than an EOTech. It's cheaper than most Vortex. It seems to be a great product. I've had mine for well over a year now. And they've been on point, but you hear some big shooters like Rob Pincus is running Holosuns, and Fisher's had some Holosuns. It's like, so you have some big shooters in the industry that shoot literally for a living, and they're using these optics, and that tells me that that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think that Holosun originally was one of those product brands that people, maybe looked at and thought, it's a budget brand. It's not gonna last. It's not something that I really need to spend money on. If I'm gonna, take this seriously, I need to go to Aimpoint, or I need to go to, Trijicon or something like that. And
that's 100% what I did.
Yeah. And people wrote them off, and like you, I've heard really good things. One of the podcasts I like listening to a lot, Gun Collective, John Patton and Adam Crowder were talking not too long ago about just how well the Holosuns are performing. And, on their own merit, these sights they're proving themselves. They're proving that they're not just throwaway garbage, that they are a good, reliable red dot optic without spending a ton of money. Friend of mine built a 9mm AR pistol not too long ago, and he put a Holosun. I think it was like the 403 or something like that. I'd have to go back and look, but it was a small, compact micro red dot, very similar to the Aimpoint micros or the Trijicon micros. And man, I mean, we took it out, we ran it, we sighted it in, and over the course of a few range trips now, that the thing has not moved zero. He's had it out in the range. Out in the rain. It's just worked reliably and zero problems. And if I had to guess. I think he's got under $200 in that site, and it even came with a riser, like a lower 1/3 riser. So if I were building, a pistol right now, an AR pistol or a 300 blackout or something like that, man, I would be hard pressed not to do this, because why the heck do I want to spend $600 on red dot if I don't have to, when these things are doing phenomenally well?
Yep.
So, yeah, no, that's a heck of a good mention right there. So, pair that up with the SB SP3 brace that you mentioned earlier, and you've got a very compelling product to put together. I mean, think about, I hate to use the term trunk gun, because it almost sounds like a beater that you don't care about, but
right.
If you want to build a affordable AR style pistol to keep in your vehicle as a get home rifle, if bad things happen and you're stuck away from home, or whatever, this is a great way to do it without having a $800, $1,000 piece of glass sitting in your vehicle. So yeah, very cool. Very cool. Are you able to get those at Squared Away Customs, or do you generally just tell people to find the best deal they can online and go from there?
We are, but it's nothing that'll ever be on the website. It's nothing. So, if it's something you need, just shoot me an email. I'll see what I can come up with for you on most any accessories, but It's never going to be on my website. So often, those types of purchases are just a much smoother transaction for you just to do a Google search and find one somewhere.
Right.
And the internet is such a crazy place. It's pretty easy to find the most amazing prices within a few clicks and not beat them,
Right. Yeah. No, I got you. All right. So I've mentioned trunk guns and building firearms for storing in your vehicle a couple of times. So good segue perhaps into another item that I found. I've used these several times. I'm using one again right now. It's a product called Console Vault. So console, like the center console of your vehicle, vault, like a gun vault. There are other brands. That's the one I've used, I'm familiar with, and I can actually recommend, firsthand. But it's about $250 on their website. I'll tell you, Google the heck out of it. Look for things like Console Vault discount code and things like that. You're gonna find some out there that are still active that may save you $10 and free shipping and stuff like that. Free shipping is important because these things are kind of heavy. So what it is generally it is it's a vault, a gun vault that goes inside the center console of your vehicle, but it's made for your particular vehicle. And why that's important is, I'll give you an example. In the F-150 that I used to have, the vault came in, I want to say it was like 3 or 4 different pieces. And so you assemble it down inside the center console of your vehicle. And, the last thing you put on it might be the lid that's got a locking door, spring loaded locking door with a combination lock and things like that. But when you finally finish bolting it together, man, you're going to have a rough time if you break into the car and try to steal a Glock or, a hand, whatever, or even you can shove your wife's purse or something down in there if you're going into a venue where, you need to leave some things behind. But it turns your center console into an armored vault. And not saying that they can't eventually get it out, but most criminals, if they're going to do a smash and grab, they're looking for a quick, easy, loot. They're bust a window out and go. I like these things. I've gotten to where, I don't generally leave a gun in my vehicle, but if I pull up to a venue where I know I've got to go into a courthouse, or I've got to go to a post office, or I've got to go into, a school or something like that, and I'm going to obey the law, and I'm not going to set myself up to get, hemmed up by the police. I want to drop my gun in something that's secure inside the vehicle. And this is the one I like. Again, $250 ish, depending on your vehicle. They've got them for most common, American and foreign made cars and trucks. So it's worth a look. Another product that I didn't do a whole lot of research on, but if you're the kind of guy that likes to keep a long gun in your truck or SUV, you might also look around at Tuffy products and others like that make armored locking drawer systems for the back hatch of your SUV or something. The law enforcement officers use these things all the time, but they're going to be a little bit more expensive than that. You're going to spend about the amount that you would on a good firearm, but you use something like this again, you're keeping the casual thief from stealing something that, they're going to probably sell that thing a couple of times. And unfortunately, a lot of stolen guns end up in the hands of, bad folks, and then they do bad things with them. So it's a great way to keep your property yours and keep a, firearm out of the hands of people who shouldn't have them. So, great idea. Again, for the gun enthusiast in your life or just yourself, if you're willing to spend a couple $100, to add some security, that's a great way to do it. So where does that take us next? I'm looking at the time. We are, we got some time left. I said we're going to have a long episode, so we got a couple more things. We might as well get through them all. What else you got?
Another one that's, I think, pretty neat, that I've had on my mind as a gift is a mutual friend of ours, Mr. Forbush, just recently did some custom laser engraving on a pistol for me.
That dude does some amazing work. So I'm intrigued. What has he done for you?
So believe it or not, Mark owns a 1911.
What?
And I sent it to Jeff to have him do a complete overhaul of the Seracote once I had it all built to the spec I wanted it. And he's Ceracoting it all in armor black.
Oh, very cool.
Unfortunately, this model 1911, for some stinking reason, did not have front checkering on the front strap.
Oh, so it's perfectly smooth.
It's perfectly smooth. So slick as snot.
Yeah, very 1945 of them, right? Yeah.
So I bought a Magwell with that is also one piece with the back, the hammer spring unit.
Yeah, the mainspring housing. Yeah.
The mainspring housing. Yeah, sorry. I was trying to blank. So I bought one that's blank without checkering. And I sent him both of them with the gun to get Ceracoted and had him laser engrave checkering essentially. But rather than just do a standard checkering, I had him do like fish scales or the
dragon scale.
Scale.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
And he laser engraved it right into the metal of the gun.
No kidding.
So it's giving me traction and looking awesome. But he does some really amazing work. And I can't say enough about some of the engravings that they do. That's really beautiful stuff. You can just, in memory of, or you could just, write anything you wanted to on the side of your gun, live for your die. I've seen lots of different options that he has. I mean, it really is limited to nothing. All he needs is an image and he can laser engrave it into your gun. He
could probably laser engrave Glock on the side of the slide and you could make the internet explode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Think about that. Just put that idea, file that away, man. Yeah.
And another thing he's doing is he's doing laser engraved stipple. So you can do, I see he did like a Louis Vuitton pattern on a polymer gun.
I could totally have him do that on my Tiffany blue M&P that I'm going to wear in my Tiffany blue CanCan Concealment girdle. So I think my wife told me never to call it a girdle. She's probably going to kick my butt now. Yeah. So now the laser stippling is amazing. They can do some really elaborate stuff with that. And it's I'm not going to take I really do not want to dig at all on the guys that do amazing hands, by hand stippling on guns. These guys, some of them are absolute freaking genius artists, but it takes a long while and you pay them a good amount of money for that. So the laser stippling, that's pretty slick.
Yeah.
It's actually not slick.
So if you Google Forbush and so it's number 4 BUSH.
Okay.
WRS for weapon refinishing systems.
Okay.
That is how you get a hold of Jeff and his company. His website will pop up and you can go there and you'll see some of the laser. Oh yeah. You open it up. There's a Bond Arms Derringer that he had laser engraved with the old scrolls and swirls and stuff.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I knew Jeff was doing some amazing stuff with Seracote. I did not know that he had bought a laser. So that's pretty slick. I think I could do amazingly fun stuff with lasers, but it'd probably be childish and immature. I'd probably see how many wieners I could draw on, guns. So
It's so cool. I want a laser so bad.
yeah, it's neat. I mean, they can, the more powerful lasers, they can actually, like you said, with checkering on a gun, you've got to remove a little bit more metal. So,
Yep.
It's not just like surface scratching. They're actually getting in there. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I'm looking now at his website with the Derringer, the amount of intricate detail, I mean, again, it's technology. We artisans used to take months to do something like that with a chisel and a hammer, and one false move and they've created a mistake. With this, the laser does all the work, and it's all computerized and laid out neat. That is really, really slick. I wish I had a laser. That is very neat. All right. Well, yeah. Heck, that's pretty slick. All right, so moving right along into, well, I've mentioned this product before, but I'm gonna go ahead and plug it again, and I'm gonna pair it up with a companion. So this might be more for yourself or somebody that you really like, but for about $160, I would still recommend the MantisX DryFire training system. Again, I've said things about this in the past on the show. I'm just a really big fan of it, and here's a good idea or a good example. The weather in Tennessee kind of sucks right now. It's been rainy for a few weeks. It seems like it rains all weekend. It's swampy. It's cold. It's actually in the 20s here right now. It's really not the time that I want to be outside shooting guns, but I would like to get some dry fire in, and if I'm going to do some dry fire, I want it to be meaningful, not just me pulling the trigger and assuming that I didn't, jerk the gun or drop my sight picture or anything else like this. The MantisX, pretty slick, USB rechargeable. It looks almost like a weapon light. You screw it onto the pick rail of your gun or on the Glock rail of your Glock, and you tether it to your smartphone or to a tablet with Bluetooth, and it uses like gyroscopic pitch and yaw sensors inside that, as you manipulate the trigger and break the sear and all that fun stuff, it's almost turning it into a game, and it'll show you on the phone, what did you do? Did you hold it straight? Did you hold it true? Were you smooth in the breaking of the trigger, or did you jerk the trigger, flinch, whatever? My wife likes it, because with the kids, man, she's not going to the range with me as much as she used to. So I think she uses it more than I do. She'll get the thing out of the safe, make sure it's charged up, drops it on her M&P, make sure that, the gun's clear, no ammo, no mag, or if she's using a mag, it's a dry fire mag. I'll mention that in a second. And she picks puts a target up on the wall, or picks a feature on the wall, a light switch or a photo or something, and she uses that as her focal point, and she gets in dry fire practice. And man, we see the results of this stuff when we actually go to the range, and your shots are where you expect your shots to be. It's a lot of fun. So about $160 on Amazon. It is pricey, but it's absolutely worth it. I mentioned DryFire Mag. That is a product name. That's a brand, DryFire Mag. I've got it for the Glock platform only. But for about $99, you put this special magazine in your Glock. And it, the way that it works is it applies pressure against the trigger bar, so that when you break the trigger, you're actually not breaking the sear. You're causing this thing's internal quote unquote sear to break. And, it provides the tactile response of having broken a shot, and then it resets the trigger for you time after time after time. Really slick. The M&P doesn't really need that, because the way that the sear in it works, you can actually do dry fire on it, and the trigger resets itself, quote unquote, a little bit every time. But they do have a version for the M&P that provides a little bit more tactile feedback. But for the Glock, you absolutely need this. If you've ever dry fired a Glock, you rack the slide just a little bit, you break the trigger, and that's it. The trigger does not reset until you pull the slide back enough to clear the sear and to get it to reset. This thing circumvents that. So Again, $99 for this thing, about $160 for the MantisX. You pair those two together, and you've got a really good dry fire platform for the Glock handgun. So I'm a fan of those two things.
Yeah, I've been wanting to I played with the Mantis at NRA, and I've been wanting to try it. I just don't know how much I'd use it, but I think I'd end up using it more than I would think. But I should just put it on my list and see if somebody gets it for me.
So we've got Amazon Prime, in the Yancey household, and
yep.
I think that we actually have an Amazon Prime credit card. I know that we do. I think that is maybe part of the reason why we accumulate like rewards points as we buy stuff. And, the wife buys everything. We got a giant box the other day that was toilet paper, right? So she's kind of gotten to this thing of, if I can buy it on Amazon for the same price and have it show up at my doorstep, every month, and I don't have to lug this crap home from the grocery store, I'm doing that. So, as she does that stuff, it accumulates points. And somewhere along the line, we had about, $90 in points. And I was a bad husband. I didn't ask permission. I just used the points and I applied it towards the MantisX. So I got the thing for like $50, right? So, I mean, it didn't sting as bad buying it that way, but I would completely pay full price for it now after having used it, a couple of times. And I think you're right. You probably use it more than you think you would. So it's neat. The other cool thing about it is, since it tethers to your smartphone and it uses an app, or to a tablet and uses an app, pardon me, it allows you to kind of like compete against, you can compete against friends. You could, in the shop, you could invite Corey to, compete against you in DryFire. And the nice thing about it is it's like social media for DryFire. So,
right.
You do your DryFire practice and it keeps your score, and it has all these different composites. He comes along a day or two later, does the same thing, measures it. Your wife does the same thing. And next thing you know, you guys are super competitive with DryFire, which sounds really silly, but it's neat. I mean, and they've got like a leaderboard system against complete strangers. The funny thing is, I think the last time I checked, one of the guys that was like a lead, in the DryFire rankings on this was a Dutch guy. And the reason that's memorable is that like the rowing machine I bought has social media, like you can compete against people rowing, and the friggin' Dutch are good at that too. And I was like, you know what? You're going down, Dutch boy. Right. So I've been DryFiring the heck out of my M&P, like going after this guy. So yeah.
Now I'm curious because we just got a Peloton.
Oh yeah.
And
the bikes?
That'll track that too. So I'm curious. I'll have to check and see if the Dutch are winning on the bikes.
I know, man, it's the freaking Dutch, right? So for all of our Dutch listeners, my hat's off to you dirty rats. I'm coming after you in the DryFire practice. So just be warned. So man, I just realized that my glass is about empty, and it's not a bin shot. It doesn't have a bullet sticking out of the side of it. But let me ask you a question. Let me lob one at you. We mentioned this earlier, or alluded to it, and I don't think we did it. If you were going to buy somebody a bottle of bourbon or whiskey, what would you do? Like if you had to buy like the office Christmas present, what would you get for somebody?
So for me, it's a bit challenging because this far north, I swear we don't get good bourbons.
Well, do you guys wait? So let me ask. I'm going to interrupt you. Do you guys get good Canadian stuff? Because that's something I've never really dipped my toes into.
I haven't either.
Yeah,
I don't really know much about it. Don't
me either.
Really do much with it. I do bourbon. You know what I mean? And, so I feel like we don't get a lot of like the good stuff that you get, or some of my friends to the South get, as much up here. And if we do, it's rare, and you got to be there and know it's coming in, and have a guy at the liquor store.
Sure.
Because like one place you can buy it. But man, that's a tough one, because I mean, a lot of what we have up here is just generic gold bottles of bullet, bottle of this, bottle of that, like nothing too rare.
Yeah, no, I like my bullet though. I mean, that's pretty good. So that's interesting.
I like gifting them. Sometimes I'll just look for something that I don't know much about.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I'll shop for it, I guess, because if I don't know about it, then I'll just maybe do a Google search while I'm there and see if I can get any good intel on it and see if it's good stuff, and then go that route.
Gotcha.
But I tend not to just go like buy a bottle of Makers as a gift, because anybody can go buy a bottle of Makers. You know, it's
Yeah, I walked out of the shop the other day with like a 2 liter bottle. It wasn't 2 liters. It was like a 1.75 liter thing of Makers. And I kind of got the stink eye from the wife. She's like, why did you buy that? I was like, well, yeah, I was out of it. And Makers is just a good, kind of like a well whiskey. There's nothing fancy about it. It's nothing special about it. It's just good to have for people that like, especially if you have friends that come over and you ask them if they want whiskey. And the next thing you know, they're dumping it in on top of their Coke. And you're looking at them going, yep. That was a $90 bottle of Makers that you just, or of Woodford Reserve or something, right? You just dumped in that Coke, right. You savage. Yep. So, but yeah, and I was like, hey, it's $10 more to get, 1.75 liters than it was to get a fifth. So why wouldn't I spend the $10? But yeah, it's interesting. I tangent. Apparently Canadian whiskey is really what you or I would think about as being rye. That's kind of like the flavor profile for them. Right. It's almost like a rye whiskey. And if they're going to do a bourbon style, then a Canadian bourbon style is always going to have corn as one of the grains. So yeah, it's interesting. I've got Canadian Club. My son gave me a really nice bottle of Canadian Club single barrel, and he has a really nice gift, and I'm still working on it just because it's special. He gave it to me, and I just kind of enjoy it for special things. I've had some Crown Royal that I think everybody under the sun's had Crown, but those are kind of like those are my impressions of Canadian whiskey, but apparently they've got all sorts of other whiskeys that I guess I'm gonna have to try them out. I don't know. For me, I'm with you, man. I kind of just look for things that either I've had before and I know that they're phenomenal and I think somebody else might not have had access to, or I look at one that I've always wanted to try and I just ship it to them and say, hey, what do you think? Or, give it to, I've got a buddy down in Florida that he's kind of in the same boat where, they don't get like really good whiskeys down there either. And it's hard to come by. And so occasionally I'll do an airlift drop to him. And I sent him one the other day. I'm, like, hey, try this out because I've never tried it yet, and I'm wondering what it's like. And he thought, well, why did you send it to me? I mean, if it's bad, then it's like, me, I'm not going to send anything bad to you. It's just I'm curious, but I wonder if Canadian whiskey uses poutine. Yeah. And anyway, no, sorry, that's wrong. That's not gonna make fun of the Canadians. They're weird food. So, would a Canadian really be listening to the Shooters Nation podcast? I don't know. It's a good question.
I know one that does.
Do you really?
Yep.
Excellent. Hey, yeah. Well, sorry about that. Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I'm glad we have some Canadian listeners. All right. Golly, whose turn is it? Is mine yours? I don't remember.
I think it's yours.
Okay. So this one may seem like an obvious plug, but I'm going to mention it anyway. Squared Away Customs Zulu inside the waistband light bearing holster, hands down my favorite holster. And I would mention this even if you weren't on the show, even if I didn't know you. This thing, how many of these do I have now? I think like 4, I guess. I think exactly I have 4. I've got 2 that are non-RMR and 2 that are. And I've got them for Glock 19. I've got them for the M&amp 2.0. I got my 2.0 right here in front of me. I never thought, and I'm going to come clean, I never thought that a Kydex holster could be this comfortable inside the waistband, period. Did not think that it was possible. And I'll go a step further and say that I never thought that one using a belt clip would work for me. I've always used the one that had the snap loops, but the belt clip, I think, actually tucks the holster in tighter to my torso than the soft loops do. And I guess maybe that's kind of a duh statement, like a rigid clip would do that. But man, I the first one that I bought from you guys, I had my M&amp 2.0 non-RMR in, and I took a trip, unbox the thing, put my gun in it, the retention was perfect from the get-go. I didn't have to adjust it. Like, oh, awesome. Wore it for a day in the house. Like, this is pretty comfortable. Hopped in a car, drove 8 hours to a vacation destination in Florida, wearing the holster the entire trip in the car. And it not only was it comfortable, but I didn't even realize that I had the stupid thing on, right? And like, normally you're always conscious of the fact that you've got a holster on. This thing, again, brilliantly comfortable. I love it. I don't know what it is you all do about this holster that is so different than every other inside the waistband Kydex holster that I've used, but I mean, it just works. I mean, the angle, the clip, the design, everything is just perfect, including the big goofy one that Corey cut for my space Glock. Yeah. So, hands down, I'm a fan of it. $79 starting price, Squared Away Customs, and you get the Shooters Nation discount code. So, head over and take a look at it. And if you've got a gun that you carry a weapon light on and you're wanting something comfortable inside the waistband, bang, that's it. I'm sold. I'm a convert. Love it. What's the one that you've got for non-light bearing? It's very similar to this, but it's
Alpha.
The Alpha. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I was, talking, well, in real time, I guess it was about a week ago. In listener time, it was probably 2 or 3 episodes ago, when I had Avery Skapalis on, and she was talking about her SIG P365 that she got. And I thought, if I buy a P365, I'm going to have to buy one of these holsters for it. And the 365 is smaller than I would want to put a weapon light on. So, probably, I guess, be the Alpha then. So,
Not to mention they put a proprietary rail on it. So you have to buy only SIG lights.
Do they really? That's so cheap of them. That is
stupid.
Gross.
Stupid old HK work.
Yeah. I mean, HK's finally coming around and putting push button mag releases on their guns, and then SIG goes and does something goofy like that. So, oh well. Yeah, I guess, I still haven't tried a 365 personally. I've got a guy locally that listens to the show, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to the range this weekend if you want to try my 365." And I'm like, "Yes, I want to. I just don't know what I'm doing this Saturday." So hopefully I get to hook up with him and try it out for myself and see if I like it. But I don't need another platform. Our buddy Jordan has wisely pointed out, you're stupid. You're going to fragment your platforms again. You kind of narrowed down into the 2. Why would you want to go to a third? And he's right. I don't know. I don't have a good reason for it. ADD.
I think you should, go back to CZP10s.
Hey, well, they got the P10C with the RMR mill on it already. It's milled out from RMR. So
yeah, they also came out with the P10F,
the full size. Yes. Mm-hmm. I've got those weird Shrek hands. I mean, like, I wear a medium glove, but I've got short fingers. So I don't know that an F would really. You know what? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Before I do that, I'll go buy a Glock 45. Guaranteed. I'm still very tempted to do that just because of the fact that it's, got the full size grip on it. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I've got the itch right now to pick up another firearm, and I don't know what it's going to be. So could be a 365, could be a Glock 45, could be a CZP10. Don't know. Do you know the P10, are they using the goofy multi-site mounting plate so you can use a variety of different red dots on it, or have they?
No idea.
Yeah. No. Okay. I don't either. I mean, I've said before the P10C was the biggest disappointment that I've ever had, and it was for no other reason that it just didn't do what they said it was going to do. And the first time I not even field strip, not a detail strip. I field stripped it to clean it. I was like, man, who engineered this thing? It's like a Rube Goldberg machine inside of it. The only thing it was missing was a canary that scared a cat that tipped over the striker that ignited the primer. Right. I mean, it's like, what the hell? This is needlessly complex, but it had a good trigger. It really had a good trigger. I don't know. who knows? I feel like something is going to happen sooner or later. I'm going to spend money on another gun platform, and I'm gonna screw up my recipe of having Glocks or M&Ps, and something else is going to make. I've got others. I got stuff that I don't shoot, but those are the ones I shoot and carry. Something's going to mess it up. It's just it could be an FN, right? I'm still thinking about the FN after our talk with Francis Marion last episode. So.
Yeah, I'm thinking about an FN509 too.
Are you?
Yeah.
So I've heard that the grip texturing is weird, but I've also heard that FN intended it to be weird because they've got like one texture on the side panels, then a completely different texture on the front strap or something like that. But that's intentional. They didn't do it like by mistake. That was to make it grippy.
So I've handled the gun. I've not fired it, but I've handled it. I did not like the trigger, and that's what turned me down. I liked the grip. The grip felt great. The gun felt good in my hand.
Yeah.
Sights lined up quick for me. I liked the gun. Didn't like the trigger. But now that Apex has their trigger out, I'm like, well, they make any trigger turn to gold. So that makes me kind of want the gun now.
Yeah. Yeah. So two thoughts. First thing I'm curious. What did you not like about the trigger on the 509? Is it just too long? Is it gritty? Is it hard? What's the deal with it?
It felt kind of like a double action does. So you're pulling, you don't have a wall, and all of a sudden it just breaks.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's getting harder, it's getting harder, it's getting harder, click. Rather than like on a Glock, you pull, it's a very distinct wall. You know, you give it 5 pounds and it's going click. This was like a pendulum. It's just like stronger, break. And I hate that. I want to know exactly where that break
where it's going to be. I'm trying to remember. The listeners are going to call me out on this. Feel free to hold me accountable, guys. And Mark, you may remember, I had a SIG P320 for a while. Never could fall in love with it. And I want to say that it was kind of the same way, where you pull the trigger and the resistance would stack up, but there was never a wall. It would just break, and it was only, like you said, like a double action, like a revolver. And I'm not a fan of revolvers. I can't tell you why. Genetically, I should love them. My grandfather used to shoot competitively with the things and was really good at them. I feel like I'm letting down my ancestors, but I freaking hate shooting revolvers for that reason. It's not predictable. It just stacks up and then, suddenly bam. Yeah, I don't know. That does remind me of the 320. What was the other thing I was going to ask you? Because I said there were two things. Yeah, so I'd had issues in the past with that one of my M&P 2.0 compacts where it seemed like the frame was shifting or the slide would shift slightly as it would break. On the gun that I've got my RMR on, I swapped frames. I swapped them with so the one that's got the Apex trigger in it is on the gun with the iron sights. The one that's got the red dot is on the one that doesn't have the Apex trigger, which did not have that issue. And that combination seems to be working perfectly. I took the two to the range the other day, or the last time I went to the range. I took both of them, and obviously the precision that I'm capable of with the red dot allows me to really see that thing move. And so if I'm not using the frame with the Apex trigger in it, don't see the problem. If I'm using the one with the Apex trigger, it's got the iron sights on it, I don't see the problem, and it's a wash. If I swap them back, it completely screws with my mojo because I see the sight, I see the dot move as the trigger breaks, and it's like, what just happened? That shouldn't have, my brain says something went wrong, and just it screws with me. So anyway, I don't know. That didn't really fix a problem more than it masked it, but there you go.
Well, it's kind of resolved it, right? If it's not kind of bothering you anymore.
Kind of, yeah. Pardon me. It definitely beats sending it off to, have Smith & Wesson take a look at it, because I just didn't want to do that, especially with the gun that had the Apex trigger in it and the RMR and all the other stuff. So, all right. Next up on the gift list, I had, for those of you that are interested in putting together an emergency medical kit for yourself, and you should be, two things. So the first one, Orca Tactical's Molly Ripaway medical IFAC bag. That's a mouthful. About $20, $19-20 on Amazon. IFAC individual first aid kit. This is an empty bag. They come in a variety of colors. I like mine in red. I am moving across the studio and coming back. I got my bag here. I've got another one I just bought. So, I mean, this thing is, I don't know, it's 8 inches by 6.5 by 3.5 inches. The nice thing about this particular bag, and the reason I like it, I use these in our vehicles. With it being a rip away, it's got a backing plate that has Velcro and some straps on it. I put the thing, it's hard to describe this, but I'll try to link it or put it on Instagram or something. I wrap the straps around the posts of the headrests in our cars. So like on the driver's seat of my Toyota 4Runner, I've got this thing behind my head, behind my neck, but it's on the back side of the seat. So it's not like in between my head and the headrest, right? So it's back there. And I got this from Dr. Sherman House. If I'm in a wreck, say I'm upside down in the vehicle or whatever else, I can grab that thing over my, put my hands up over my shoulders, grab it behind my head, rip it off the Velcro, and I've got my first aid kit. Inside that first aid kit, among other things, is like a seatbelt cutter or a pair of shears and things like that. So I could use that to get myself out of the car. If there's a wreck nearby or whatever else, I can, grab it and run, go render aid to somebody. If I happen to be somewhere and I'm trying to, like I'm doing CPR on a person or whatever, I can, look at a bystander and say, hey, look, red 4Runner over there, run, go right now. First aid kit on the back of the headrest. They can rip it off, grab it, bring it here. This first aid kit's big enough that I keep a couple of chest seals in it. I keep a nasopharyngeal airway tube or two in there, a couple tourniquets, compression bandages, oh my gosh, I got a bunch of stuff in there. Some non-latex nitrile rubber gloves. I've got a mouth guard for doing CPR, or I think two in the one that's in my truck. So I've got it loaded up, but it's got mesh pockets inside. $18, $19. It's a starting point. You're going to spend probably 4 times that amount to fill it up with useful equipment, but again, it's a starting place, and I like it because it's red. It's got a first aid, the red cross or whatever on the outside of it, and it's very easily identifiable. Like I said, if I have to tell somebody else to go grab it, go get it, the wife, kids, whatever, they all know what it is, and there you go. I keep a bag like this in my desk drawer at work. To be honest with you, it's kind of like after we've talked to, Ian Strembeck and Rich Graham and others about preparing yourself to, face a very tragic event at work, workplace violence, that kind of stuff, unfortunately seems to be just a fact of life for us anymore in the United States, and elsewhere. But yeah, I throw that thing in a desk drawer, and I've got the same kind of kit everywhere, and every one of my bags are set up the same way, same gear, same pockets, chest seals, gauze pads, compression bandages, tourniquets, you name it. It's all in there. NPA tubes. And it's just good, and so $19, I highly recommend it. I said there was a second product, and I'll mention that real quick too. My wife actually found this, and she said, hey, this was pretty neat. I like it. Amazon, $25 to $50 range. It's a product called the Kids Keep Me Safe Emergency Kit. I think Keep Me Safe is the name brand. The interesting thing about this kit is that it's in a backpack format. You can get them in colors that kids like, purple, black, pink, red, blue, whatever, under the sun. But it's got, things in there for like food and water. It's got some comfort things in there, like little toys, little coloring books, little stuffed animal stuff. But it's a survival kit for kids that also includes basic medical supplies, flashlight, batteries, stuff like that. And, what I've come to learn is that kids can process a lot more than you think they can in a bad situation, an emergency situation. If you give them a task or a job, it kind of keeps them from freaking out, right? And so this is just a kid's 72-hour survival kit for, snow, storms, floods, fires, things like that, gives them their own little thing to be comfortable with. $50, $25 to $50. I think the $25 one is just kind of like a small clear zipper bag, similar to my, the Orca thing that I was just mentioning. But the bigger bags, the backpack stuff, includes that and more things, reflective blanket, meal bars, you name it, so pretty neat thing. If you're looking for something fun to give your kids or, to give them, that is a, emergency preparedness plan. As you start working through that stuff with your family, you might want to look into these. So it's just neat. I thought it was pretty slick. I want one. I want the purple one. It matched my CanCan Concealment thing. So, Mark, you're up next. What do you got, man? You are muted, my friend.
Going through my list here. Looks like I've gotten most of mine knocked out here.
Yeah.
I think I got them all.
We stacked a bunch of stuff in here. Really, we did. So I mean, we're an hour-ish into the show. What about weapon light? I mean, so I had the Streamlight TLR7 in there as, a gift idea. You're more of a Surefire guy, right? So if you were to recommend somebody, hey, here's a weapon light that you can buy your, somebody, the shooter in your life, which one would you tell them to pick up for a handgun?
Well, yes, I'm a Surefire guy. And I think that the only caveat to that is the TLR7.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of a game changer in size and power. So for a flashlight the size of a 9-volt battery, basically you're getting 500 lumens, which is better than 200 lumens. That's for dang sure, but it sure isn't 1,000 lumens.
Right. Yeah.
And more light equals more information. More information keeps Mark coming home alive. Right.
True that. Yep.
I'm all the lumens. I'm carrying appendix carry, Glock 17, X300 Ultra, 1,000 lumen flashlight every day.
Yeah. So retail price on that, street price, generally, what are you looking at to pick up the X300U?
I think street price, you're probably $215, $225 is a realistic street price. It's got a retail of $299.
It's actually not bad. That's only about $100 more than a TLR7, right? So, I don't know. I mean, in your opinion, do you choose? Does the consumer? I know you're going to go for all the lumens, right? But does the average consumer do they look at it and say, well, for a compact gun, I'm going to go with the TLR7. For a full size gun, I might, just go ahead and with the go with the X300U because why not? Or
I don't know that the size of the gun matters. What I think matters is how much are you willing to sacrifice?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the way I look at it. I look at it like, yeah, it's smaller, but the size doesn't matter to me when I can double my power.
Yeah. Gotcha.
When I can double what I see.
Yeah.
That tells me like that's worthy of being slightly less comfortable.
Right.
For me.
And I guess maybe it also depends on the carry style. Like if my wife were going to try to carry a gun with a weapon light in that hip hugger holster that she's got, the X300U might physically just not fit in that. So she might have to go with the TLR7. So, yeah. But if you're going to order a inside the waistband holster from you or, somebody else, why would you? But if you're going to order from Squared Away Customs, why not think about the X300 if it will fit you? Right. So,
right.
Yeah.
And the other thing is I like the controls.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
They're a lot bigger. They're a lot.
They are.
It's the shape and the angle and the way that they work is a lot easier to manipulate in high stress, dark, unique situations.
I will definitely agree with that. The TLR7, even though I'm a fan of them, I've got several of them. The switch buttons on them are a little goofy. You have to press straight forward really with your thumb. The best way to press them in is to press them in directly from the side, like into the side of the light, and that definitely turns them on. But my fingers aren't that long, so I mean, my thumb's definitely not. So if I'm hitting it with the support thumb, my support hand thumb, I'm really just pressing forward with my thumb, and that seems to depress it, and it works. So the other thing I'll throw in there about the TLR7 is the light on that is not pure white; it's got a yellow tinge to it. I didn't notice it until somebody brought it up. And my first response was, no, it doesn't. It's white light. And then I went and I turned it on. I was like, oh yeah, it's got kind of a yellow tinge. Sorry about that. I was wrong. I don't know if that's good or bad. Yeah. If you think about fog lights on cars and things like that, they generally are yellow tinged because it cuts through fog. I could see where in a smoky situation with gunfire and stuff like that, the yellow tinge might do better, but I think that's purely by accident. I think it's because of the LED emitter that they use in that light. They didn't do that by design. It's not like they said, we're going to make it yellow because it'll cut through fog. I think that's just a happy accident. So, yeah. All right. So, I had two more things in here. You want to take one of them or you want me to do it?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So, again, this is somebody that you really like, or you're buying this for yourself. I am curious about this. I haven't done it yet. Mark, you and I've talked about them a little bit. So maybe at some point I'll commit and do one of these, but, thinking about the Nomad Defense Nomad 9 Glock frame. That's kind of a hot new thing that's on the market right now. So here's the thing, right? Go Google it. I'll put it in the show notes. Check it out. It's an alternative frame for your Glock 19 is what they've got right now. And it's kind of like you're naturally going to compare it to the Polymer 80, but I think the Polymer 80 has some advantages. On one hand, that you can get the models that are not serialized, you build them yourself, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of really nice advantages that this is more like the Polymer 80 that is already built out for you, that has a serial number, which is a new thing for Polymer 80. The Nomad 9, it's serialized. You're going to pay a FFL transfer fee. It's going to come to your FFL. You're going to have to do the background check, et cetera, et cetera. The only reason I'm intrigued by this, and it's the same reason I'm intrigued about doing a Polymer 80. So I'm going to flip a coin, right? I'm going to do both of them, but whichever one happens first probably is going to come down to a coin toss for me. I've just got the parts, right, to do it. I've got a non-milled standard Glock 19 slide and barrel lying around. And when I say non-milled, it's because I bought that one that I built the Space Glock out of. So I've got its original frame, or original slide rather, its original barrel. I already put some nice sights in that back in the day when I was carrying that gun all the time. Really, the only thing that I lacked was a frame and the lower parts, and I already bought the lower parts from Big Tex Outdoors when those guys were running a sale not too long ago, right?
Yep. So
I've got everything I need but the frame, and I don't know. I'm intrigued by this thing. It's got some advantages. $200. I see one of these in my future, but then again, I also see a P80, Polymer 80 frame in my future too. So I don't know. We'll see. I threw it in there hoping that maybe one of our listeners will go buy one and then they'll come back and tell us how cool it was or not. Right. But anyway, I think it's slick. It's got some neat features. You can't go wrong with more guns in your life. So that's that one thing. And then the last thing that I had for the show was this, there's some ways that you can do low, no cost. And kind of to your point, very early in the show, Mark, you were talking about buying your son a lifetime hunting permit. Pay for somebody's carry permit. If you've got family members that don't have a carry permit yet, offer to pay for their permit, offer to pay for their training class that is required for that. Tennessee, we have an 8-hour training class that also includes some range time. I think those go for about $100, maybe a little less. The first year or three of I think we issue our permits in a 3-year and a lifetime. But for a 3-year permit, maybe another $90. So for under $200, you can equip somebody in your family or a friend with a way to legally carry a firearm for their self-protection. And why not? I work with a guy that did this for his family a couple of years ago. He bought all of his 21-year-old ish daughters their permit class, and they all went and took the permit, and it was a thing that they did during the holidays when they were all off from work, and it was a good family activity. So why not do that? I think it'd be a great way to do it. Or just take a non-permit related training class and gift that to somebody. You know, we've talked about this in the past. You know, the kind of classes that Tatiana Whitlock offers, Mike Cicino, you know, the folks that are out there, Rich Graham, they're teaching classes that are above and beyond the basics of getting your carry permit. Pick one of those, or maybe even an emergency medical class. Send somebody you care about to a class like that. Yeah, it's a legacy that you're building. You're giving them knowledge, and that knowledge could potentially save their life or somebody else's. So,
absolutely,
yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking. You know, or do it for yourself, for Pete's sake. You know, if nobody else is going to do it for you, do it for yourself and gift yourself that for Christmas. Merry Christmas, Happy Festivus, Happy Hanukkah. Do something good for yourself. So, yeah. So, man, I mean, it's crazy to think that, we're looking like a week away from Thanksgiving right now. Black Friday's coming up. I'm sure there's going to be a crazy amount of sale ads and things like that coming up. Is there anything that you're looking forward to that you're scoping out for Black Friday that if it goes on sale, man, you're buying it?
Man, normally I think I kind of get into that mindset, and I don't know if it's just because I've been so sick and playing catch up, but like, I'm just not. I'm kind of blown away that Thanksgiving's in a week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
how
the heck did that happen already?
Right.
My mind is not there yet.
Right. You guys got big plans for Thanksgiving, doing the family thing or company coming in?
No, just headed up to my sister's house, which is about 45 minutes away.
Okay.
That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, in years past, my wife and I used to like to, we were the stupid people that would go out on Black Friday and stand in lines. And it was never really about buying a thing as much as it was, for some reason, that activity was like the kickoff of the holiday season, right? And I freaking love Christmas. I mean, that's like my favorite time of the year. And for some reason, just being out there and watching people fight over flat screen televisions, that was like, yes, it's Christmas, right? Blood sport. It's kind of like, are you not entertained? So we've kind of gotten out of that, and it's all online now. And I was noticing the other day that like people have started doing Black Friday sales already. They're calling it Black November or something silly like that. So, I don't know that I'm going to do I'm not really looking for anything in particular unless I catch a smoking deal on something unexpected, I mean, I'm just going to watch and see what's out there. Palmetto State Armory, they tend to do some crazy stuff. I may watch those guys and see what they've got, but I don't have anything in particular that's just like, that's the thing I'm going for this year.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, I think it was like 2 years ago, Palmetto had a Black Friday aim point micros for $389.
Right. I mean, like, I think last year or the year before they were doing 300 blackout AR pistols, and they were the kinds that you would want to own, right? So they had like M-lock rails and stuff like that, and it was before the SB3 brace, but they had similar braces, and they were like sub $500, and I thought, man, why did I not buy one or two of those? And I'm gonna watch and see what they've got. I don't know. I'm curious to see what the firearms industry does. I would love to have a new safe for the house, a bigger safe. I think somebody mentioned the Iron Rhino or something like that the other day in a conversation locally. And I love them, man. The Iron Rhino safes, I don't know if you've seen them, but they're the ones that look like, very industrial, distressed finish, big metal straps on the outside and rivets and things like that. And I thought, that's beautiful. I would put that sucker in the center of our living room, and the furniture would be ringed around it, and my wife would hate me. But I would love to have one of those, but I don't have $6,000 to plunk down on a safe right now. So plus you can buy a really good safe for a heck of a lot less than $6,000. So, I don't know, man. And so for holiday plans with us, we're hanging close by. I'm probably going to smoke a turkey on the smoker and, just kind of kick back and see what happens. Watch the kids and see how they enjoy Thanksgiving. So, yeah.
It's the best part.
It is the best part. Well, so I guess that brings us to the close of the episode. Folks, I hope that helped you. I hope that we inspired you or gave you some ideas. I'll be honest. I'm one of the hardest people to shop for. My wife says that if I want it, it just generally shows up on the doorstep, from the UPS or the FedEx ferries. So I make it difficult. I'm just grateful that, I can do that. And for this time of year, I'm looking more for doing things for other people. So if you're like that, hopefully we've given you some ideas to, things to look at for, the gun owners and the gun enthusiasts in your life. If you're hoping that somebody buys some of these things for you, again, hey, play this podcast in the car while you're going Black Friday shopping or driving to, grandma's house for Thanksgiving dinner. And, hopefully we've given some good ideas. Mark, I think folks probably know by now, but how can they connect with you after the show?
info@squaredawaycustoms.com is the best way to reach me direct. And if you need any holster stuff, you can always go to squaredawaycustoms.com. Make sure to use coupon code ShootersNation.
Absolutely. Save yourself
some money.
That's right. Save the money and then spend that money on other stuff.
At this point, with the growth of the podcast, I probably hear from listeners, I would say once a day.
That's awesome. So, special thanks to our patrons who are directly supporting the show and making future episodes possible. If you want to support the show, you can do so by visiting shootersnation.com and look for the donate button. We definitely want to hear from you. Head over to shootersnation.com, look for the idea link. Tell us who you really want us to interview, what subjects you want us to cover in the weeks ahead. If you do that, you're helping make our lives and jobs a lot easier because we know what you want to hear. Finally, connect with us at shootersnation.com. Sign up for the Mail Blast mailing list. That's where you can find out about upcoming shows, live events, special promotions, etc. Not going to wish you guys a Merry Christmas yet because it's too early for that stuff. But we will wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Hope that you have a safe time and an enjoyable time with your friends and family. And if you're spending it alone, I hope that you're doing that on your own free will and that you enjoy the quality time in quiet and peace and not listening to stupid people talk. Just as a plug, just going to throw this out there. If you're going to find yourself alone this holiday season and you wish you weren't, reach out to folks. There are a lot of options out there for people that want to spend the holidays with other people. Whether it's a faith-based organization or a civic group or something like that, there are a lot of ways that you can get connected with other people and not spend time alone. And if you've got a way at all to make it happen, and you can be that friend or that warm house and warm meal to somebody that that would be otherwise spending the holidays alone, maybe give them a phone call, shoot them an email, stop by and knock on their door and just invite them to your table. Great way to be a positive influence in somebody else's life, especially around the holidays. So from our families to yours, happy Thanksgiving. Hope that you guys enjoyed the show. Hope that this gave you some ideas. We will talk to you again soon. Until then, be safe.
The preceding segment was a production of the Shooters Nation podcast. Visit us online at shootersnation.com.